Hi everyone! Know it's been a long time since I've done a tutorial, but this is the one that I think is going to pull everything together that I've talked about so far. So first, I want to show you this beautiful pattern that I found. Of course, you guys know that I'm a little bit addicted to Pinterest, so this was a Pinterest pin that I found, and it was originally from an American site, but got redone by someone from the Netherlands. And why that's important is because today we're going to be talking about printed patterns, so that they're actually charts with the symbols that I've been showing you, so that regardless of what language you find a pattern in, if it has one of these charts, you'll be able to do crochet patterns without even having to think about the words. So let's go ahead, let me show you the work. A lot of scraps went into this because I finally decided to organize my craft room and realized that I have a lot of different scrap pieces of yarn. And when I say scraps, I don't mean like 2 or 3 inches. I'm actually talking yardage left over from a skein from a finished project that may not have been enough to make another complete shawl or scarf, doll dress, whatever, but it'll be enough to do one length. Now, I was lucky enough that the repeat of my rainbow happened 3 or 4 times, so that was also enough. But this is beautiful because it's reminiscent of hearts if you want it to be, and it's not if you don't want it to be. So let me put this aside and let's start looking at our pattern. Okay, so let's start off. Now, some of the words are in English if you can make it out that small, but if not, we're not going to even look at those. We're going to look at the actual pattern. The small ovals at the bottom, that's your beginning. You see the tail of your yarn there, and it actually counts off how many chains you're going to lay up. Now, in the beginning, you may want to do a swatch that's only this wide, so then you can do an automatic count. But it also says here that it's a multiple of 7 plus 8. So that means if you wanted to do a bookmark, you do 7 chains plus 8. So for a total of 15, that's what you would start off with. However, if you're doing a baby blanket and want to make it much wider, which a normal receiving blanket is 36 by 36 or 40 by 40 inches. So you would take a multiple of 7 and just keep on adding on 7 stitches until you reach your desired length plus the 8 stitches, because that's usually the end of a pattern plus your turning chains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause showing you the pattern. I'm going to pull out my yarn and let's start hooking. So like we showed before, we're going to do a slip knot, which I do by crossing over the yarn, making a loop, and pulling it through. So that allows for it to slip knot on itself. So for today, I'm going to do a repeat of 2. So that is 7 times 2, 14, plus the 8, so 22 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I have 22 stitches on my hook. So let's look back. For the first row, we're going to use the last 3 chains to be the first double chain. And we're going to put a double chain in the 4th stitch from our hook and double chain all the way back to the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, there's the 4th stitch. Double chain, yarn over into the stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, double chain, all the way back. And there we go. So now let's go back to our pattern. Okay, now we're going to look at row 2. We're going to start with a chain 3, a double chain, 2 chains, and then we're going to jump over 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 double chains, 1 chain, 2 double chains in the same double chain from the previous row. We're going to do 2 chains, skip over 6, and then do the 2 double chains, 1 chain, 2 double chains, and jump 6 all the way across to the end where we end in 2 double chains in the 3rd chain. So I'm going to slow that down and point out each thing while I crochet, and I'll talk to you again at the end of this row. Oh, also very important about this row, sorry, almost forgot. We're changing color. This is the color of what the pseudo heart will be. For this video, am going to make it in red so that it is visible yet contrasting. Okay, so now we're ready for row 2. We've changed our yarn to the color of what we want our hearts to be, and we're going to start in the last stitch that we ended in. We insert our hook with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Pattern then tells us to do a double chain in the same stitch and chain 2. So there is our chain 3, our double chain, and then the 2 chains in the purple. Now we're going to skip over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double chains from the previous row, and in the 6th double chain do 2 double chains, 1 chain, 2 double chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we skip, needle in the 6th, 1 double chain, 2 double chains, 1 chain, double chain in the same stitch. Now our pattern tells us to do 2 chains, skip 6th. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 double chains, 1 chain, 2 double chains in the same stitch. Now because my repeat is smaller than the pattern, I'm going to go to the end 8 stitches that were here. So I'm here, I'm going to do 2 chains, skip 5, and 2 double chains in the last stitch, which happens to be the top of those 3 stitches that we used to turn on the previous row. So 2 stitches, and if we counted right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's our chain 3 turn. We're going to do 2 double stitches in that top stitch. And there we go. There is row 2. Now we're going to change back to white and look at row 3. So here I have a chain 1, a single chain, chain 1. Then I'm going to do a double chain around the 2 chains into the previous row, so row 1, not row 2. Double chain into row 1. Then 2 chains, single chain into the chain from the row 2, which is the red, 2 chains, and then we'll continue our way back. Okay, so now we're ready to start row 3. We join in our last stitch by inserting our hook, pulling out a loop, and slip stitching it. Now our pattern says to chain 1 and single stitch in the same stitch, as well as chain 1. We're going to do a double crochet into row 1, into skipping 1 double crochet into the second and third available. So you guys ready? We're going to yarn over, and we're going to skip the first double crochet that's available and insert into this. Oh. Okay, you guys ready? We're going to do a yarn over for a double crochet. This double crochet is already taken in row 1. So we have the first available, here's the second available. We insert our hook and draw up a loop, a very loose loop, because it's going to make the height of the second row and the third row. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next one, pull through, make sure it's loose, yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over through the last 2 loops. And that's what I call a dropped double crochet, since it's going through not the previous row, but the row before that. Back to our pattern, we've done these 2 dropped double crochets. Now we do 2 chains and a single crochet into the 1 chain from row 2. So 2 chains, single chain into row 2, 2 chains, there's the first available, here's the second available. Make sure I get it in. 2 chains, insert into your 1 chain. Okay, so now we're back to the beginning of the row where it is 2 dropped, 1 chain, and then a single chain into the top of the 3 chain stitches. So and that is row 3 through it. Now we chain 3 and double chain in every stitch across. So if it's 1 chain, we do a double crochet in that. Every double crochet gets another double crochet, and in each chain or single crochet we double crochet. Okay, 3 to turn, 1, 2, 3, and a double crochet in each stitch. Okay, there we go, end of row 4. Let's go back to our pattern and I'll refer it back. So you see here it's highlighted, and not all your patterns that are written out will be highlighted like this, but there will be some form of box that will show you where the repeat is. So remember when we were in row 2 and I skipped from here all the way to here? That was because I knew that this was the block that we were doing over and over. So when I end with the 2 chain here, I'm going to go back and do the double crochet. And even though it had me counting out to here, it's the same number of stitches as if I were to just backtrack to the beginning of the box. Same goes with my chains and single crochets from row 3, and since row 4 was just double crochets all the way across, that one as well. So I had lots of fun doing this because it reminded me that there is a universal language when it comes to arts and crafts as well, not just in math. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be linking everywhere. So if we're on YouTube, go down here. I'll have a link to this pattern. If you're in my blog, somewhere up or down, there'll be links to this pattern as well. And if you're on Facebook, then the link to this video and YouTube should be somewhere within the post. So I hope you enjoyed, and I can't wait to show you more patterns and more projects I've been working on. Bye!